Hi guys, welcome to Classic Rock Country Music Facts and Trivia. I got a question for you. Whatever happened to David Lee Roth? Well, he turned 70 this week, and here's what he's been up to. David Lee Roth jumped into his 8th decade on October 10th of 2024 when the former Van Halen frontman, singer, and beloved pop culture wild man turned 70. Though it had been a robust career, both with Van Halen and as a solo artist, he's been fairly quiet since around 2012 when he recorded a final Van Halen album, A Different Kind of Truth, and embarked on an international tour with the band. So what is Diamond Dave been up to? Here we go. Roth was born in Bloomington, Indiana in 1954 and spent most of his childhood in the state before his family moved to Pasadena, California in his teens. There he met fellow Pasadena resident Eddie and Alex Van Halen, who were playing in a band called Mammoth. After multiple failed auditions, Roth finally joined the band as a singer, and in 1974, the band changed their name to Van Halen. The band gained popularity in the emerging hard rock scene of L.A. Strip. Gene Simmons of Kiss helped them record a demo tape in 1976 that didn't lead to any major label interest. However, a 4-month residency at Starwood Club led to an eventual deal with Warner Brothers. Their self-titled 1978 debut was an immediate hit, cracking the Billboard Top 20 at number 19. It contained many songs that remained the band's signatures for the rest of their career. In the following years, Van Halen released an album a year and toured constantly. Roth became a presence on the then new MTV, but creative tensions between him and Eddie Van Halen put pressure on the band as they hit their greatest success. 1984's 1984, which reached number 2 on the Billboard charts and produced the band's only number 1 hit, Jump, would be Roth's final album with the band until 2012. In 1985, he released the Crazy from the Heat covers EP. His first solo release contained a medley of Just a Gigolo, I Ain't Got Nobody, that reached number 12 on the charts, while his version of the Beach Boys' California Girls hit number 3. Buoyed by its success, Roth began a solo career in earnest, as well as creative collaboration with guitarist Steve Vai, which started with the 1986 album Eat 'Em and Smile and continued through 1988's Skyscraper. During this time, Roth became known for his over-the-top live show, which featured moments such as his dressing up as a boxer in a floating ring and surfing over the audience on a surfboard suspended from the ceiling. Clips of this can be seen in the video for Just Like Paradise. The arrival of grunge in the 90s and alternative rock led to a quieter period for Roth. One of his bigger earlier 90s moments was unfortunately getting arrested in New York City's Washington Square Park for buying marijuana from an undercover cop in 1993. He also debuted at Las Vegas Lounge Review in 1995, backed by Nile Rodgers, Edgar Winter, a brass band, and a bevy of Vegas showgirls. After Sammy Hagar exited the band in 96, Roth recorded 2 new songs with Van Halen and Michael Anthony for a greatest hits album, but the reunion proved short-lived. It was very clear that he was not in the band, and that was just a project, Eddie Van Halen said of the recordings. What I wanted to do was write 5 new songs and pick 2 out of those 5. In 1997, Roth released his autobiography, Crazy from the Heat, which was a New York Times bestseller. The book was infamously assembled from 1,200 pages of Roth free association about his life, whittled down to under 400 pages. In the early 2000s, he also trained as an EMT, went on 100 calls in New York City, and his trainer described him to the New York Post as someone who probably turned out to be one of the best students I ever had. A rumored attempt at a reunion with Van Halen in 2000 and 2001 fizzled, but in 2002 he toured with fellow former Van Halen singer Sammy Hagar on the Song for Song tour, which reignited public interest in his career. 2006, when Howard Stern left his radio station to work for Sirius, Roth was his replacement, but his show only lasted for 4 months. In 2007, Roth once again joined forces with Van Halen brothers, announcing a tour that would reteam them with Eddie's son Wolfgang replacing Michael Anthony. The band played 74 dates, though there were a number of delays in rescheduling due to Eddie Van Halen's health issues. Later in the same year, the band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but Eddie's ongoing health issues prevented him from attending. Alex opted not to attend to support his brother, and Roth, who was originally scheduled to perform a classic Van Halen song, backed by Velvet Revolver, dropped out of appearing as well due to conflict with his backing band. Michael Anthony and Hagar were the only members present to accept the award. In 2012, the reunited Van Halen released A Different Kind of Truth, which included some reworked songs written earlier in the band's career and toured to promote the album through 2013. So what's he doing now? He's been fairly quiet publicly in the years after this tour. He played a residency in Vegas in early 2020 and opened for Kiss on tour that was derailed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Later, after the tour was rescheduled, Roth was booted from the bill, with Simmons referring to him as not in his prime. Eddie Van Halen passed in October of 2020, leading to the official dissolution of Van Halen. In 2021, Roth formally announced that his retirement from live performance would come after a year in Vegas residency, stating, "I've given you all I've got to give." Those shows were later canceled, meaning his final live gig occurred on March 2020. He has, however, still released recorded music and has a podcast called The Roth Show, which released its most recent episode in May of 2024. He's also doubled down on an interest in visual art. He previously spent multiple years in Japan training in traditional art techniques. Fans can see his interactive graphic novel, The Roth Project, on his website, but they can also check out his abstract paintings. As he told the New York Times of his art in 2020, "This isn't expressing myself. This is a performance therapy. I'm venting. I'm angry. And I'm not asking for forgiveness. And this is how I do it." I know it took a while to get there, but I love the history of Van Halen. David Lee Roth in particular, because he went from crazy to crazier to nuts and bonkers. All I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Please don't forget to subscribe if you have not yet. Please like this video if you made it this far through. Have a great day. God bless you, and I'm praying for you.